Hi everyone, welcome to my video workshop series. It's called Homebody. My name is Kate March and it's nice to be with you. I hope that if you've seen some of the other videos and then you're tuning into this one, what I hope you've done is really reclaimed your body as your truest home. And that to me means you're connecting your physical self to your emotional self, to your intellectual self, to all parts of yourself being aligned and more balanced so that you're working together as a whole human. And especially in these times of uncertainty and some challenges while we're in lockdown or quarantine, and also in times when the world isn't so uncertain, I hope you're using these tools to access more creativity, to find more physicality in your everyday life, and to just gain a general sense of how to be more expressive, how to channel some of your emotions through your body for some cathartic release, or to gain perhaps a little bit more wisdom about your true self. And that being said, I'm sure that people have gained a multitude of different things from these videos. Maybe you've never improvised before and you've started to do that a little bit more often. That's great. Maybe you've never kept a journal or written down things when you're doing movement exercise, or even when you're doing some thought creation, and maybe you're doing more journaling. Also wonderful. It's really a workshop that I hope is a custom bespoke workshop for you. I'm facilitating, I'm giving you tools, but this is really your opportunity to take some of these ideas and put them into your own life how you see fit. There's no right or wrong. I'm giving you the space and time, hopefully, to be free with how you express, how you use your body, and how you connect that mind and that body to align it and retune it to access your imagination. Today's workshop is going to be entitled Inspiration. If you want to get out a piece of paper or a journal and do some writing or some note-taking as I give you some ideas that we're going to be exploring, now is the time to do that. What I'd like to do today is talk about sensory exploration. So in a lot of these workshops, if you haven't gained this by now, maybe you should revisit, but in a lot of these workshops, it's all about movement exploration. And if you're not used to doing that, if this is a totally new idea for you, and even if it's something you've done for your whole life, I want to start to understand and tease out the way that we can actually initiate movement. And for those of you who are already movers in your life, how do we initiate new vocabulary that we haven't yet explored? So this today will be taking some sensory input, using it in our body very consciously and in a focused, present manner, so that we gain some different routes and channels to output our movement. We've been using a lot of emotional input before this, and today I want to use things that are a little bit more tangible in how they may direct what we're doing with our movement explorations. I just want to say that movement, and actually any art, any creative idea or expression that you're exploring, should and can and will be influenced by the world around you. It's all about personal perception and personal interpretation. Nothing is right or wrong. Everything you're doing, as long as it's authentic and true to who you are, it's going to be magical. It's going to be some form of expression, and that is key. In everyday life, when we're expressing ourselves, that's what humans are meant to do. So take the opportunity, ignore my little stutter back there that I didn't decide to edit out, and take this opportunity to be inspired and to express yourself in any form that emerges, okay? Today we're doing it in movement because that's one of my, very primary forms of expression. And I think it's good while our bodies are at home to use them as we may otherwise not be able to. So again, all different art forms can be inspired by anything and everything. And in general, actually, it's not just the artistic expression, but it's the expression of new ideas, innovative ideas, maybe scientific ideas, mathematical ideas. Einstein himself was, a scientific genius, but his mind was brilliant at expressing the things he saw around him. He was, in my mind, almost like an artist, but using the tools of science. So all ideas and innovation emerge by activating different parts of our sensory cortex and our sensory body. And that being said, our creative process, your creative process, which you may not even understand that you have, but everyone has creativity, everyone has creative potential, and everyone is in their own process of creation constantly, whether it's creating thoughts, creating humor, creating connection. It's all creativity, right? So creative process relies on personal perception and the interpretation of the world around us. What I'm saying and what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be using other forms of art as sensory tools, as prompts to respond or reflect on and then create movement with. And I think this will be really fun for you. I hope that it'll allow you the next time you're not given my prompts, that maybe you'll see a photograph somewhere, or you'll see a painting, or you'll see a piece of writing, and it will inspire something that you reflect on and either create movement from, or create a new idea from, or generate something of creative value for yourself. That's the whole goal here. Taking something, inputting it into your mind and body, and seeing what the new meaning and output is that you're creating individually with your own creative brilliance. Okay, so I'm gonna get ready to do some movement with you. Now is a great time to maybe pause the video, take a second to claim that space for yourself. Hold any kind, again, you could be in your bathroom, you can be on your yoga mat, you can be on your sofa. If you have a huge studio in your basement, awesome. If you have a little corner of a gym, also great. If you have, maybe not, in public, a subway, not great right now, but just some space that you can claim for yourself and a little bit of time so that you can align your mind and body and come up with some creative ideas and express yourself today. In this next section, I hope you're going to be inspired. I hope you're going to think of things you never thought of, reflect on things you never thought of, and surprise yourself with new movement ideas. So let's get ready together to put in some time and space and energy, and put in your intention and focus for what you want to accomplish in today's session. And I'm going to take off my overcoat and get ready to move. Here we go. It's so funny, being on camera, filming yourself in an empty room, and trying to be really articulate. It's harder than I thought. So I apologize for any of the stuttering or the words that aren't flowing right. Speaking and words sometimes aren't my main form of expression, so I do apologize if today happens to be a day where I'm filming and I'm not as articulate as usual. Just want to throw that out there for you. That's why I like to communicate in a variety of expressions. All right, so today we're going to be taking actually another form of my expression. It's going to be one of my paintings. And this is actually an ink painting. I'll just show it to you in this way. I'm gonna put it in front of the camera. I hope it's showing you. Take a look at it. I want you to take a mental image of this, and I want you to look at the shapes. First of all, we're going to focus on these shapes. You see some lines, a lot of curves, arches, circles, splatters, drips, a lot of different shapes, right? Take another good look at it. You can even pause the video. Hopefully you're seeing it correctly when I'm holding it up right here. You can even pause the video, take a little screenshot of this painting, okay? Now, first what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the shape and we're gonna trace the shapes. You don't have to say out loud what shapes you're gonna trace, just knowing what this looks like loosely. Take those shapes and trace them with different body parts, okay? This is a tool that people can use in choreography and improvisation as prompts to initiate new movement, but it's also a great exercise if you want to just get into your body. Again, being more present with your body means using it differently than you're used to. So this is a great way to not only get into your body, but to also find new ways to move. So we're going to try to trace these shapes first with the hips. And then after that, we're going to trace them with your arms. And then after that, I want you to try a couple of different body parts. Really be really specific. Like if you want to trace these shapes with your big toe, do that. Sit down, lay down, and trace those shapes with your big toe. Because you know what, I bet you haven't moved like that before. Okay, so I'm going to take this, I'm going to set it up here, and I'm going to do some of that movement. What would be ideal is when you're going through this for yourself, you spend like 5 minutes on each body part and each exploration so that it becomes a little nugget of movement improvisation, if you will, each time you explore a new body part. Don't feel utterly restricted by that particular body part. If you want to just explore and get into your body, I would say start with that body part and see where it leads you. Don't feel like you need to forbid yourself from using the rest of your body. However, if you do want a little bit more of a challenge, for those of you who are more used to movement improvisation or initiating movement through shapes or being, more familiar with this kind of process, restrict yourself. I would say do 5 to 10 minutes of the hips only and see where that leads you. Sometimes when we give ourselves restrictions like that, you can come up with some really interesting movement. And for those of you, again, who just want to explore and this is a little bit new for you, I would say give yourself the freedom to just see where that initial body part leads you and do 5 minutes of these 3, the hips, the arms, and at least one other body part, okay? So again, if I were using my hips, there's 2 different axes on these paintings, right? It's if we're looking at this and we're trying to use how it's set up vertically. So for instance, this arc would become, maybe I'm just doing this simple recreation with my hips. So it's going up and over. Maybe it's on the horizontal plane, so it's as if you're taking that painting and putting it on the flat surface. Maybe you're drawing it that way. So you could actually take a totally different piece of art. You don't have to use mine. And you could put it on the ground and you could look at it and you just start to trace with your body and see what happens. Maybe you just want to keep repeating that one arc. And then it brings you into the line. Maybe lifting one leg up while you move that hip. Okay, so there are different ways to use it. You can lift up one foot. play with your hips, initiating the shape, okay? Then we're gonna use our arms, and I'll show you my own explorations at the end of the video in a speed of 20 times what I did it at. So you can just have a sense of, I'm also doing these workshops. Using our arms, I would do a big arc, maybe just one arm. Maybe I would take that arc and bring it down. Play with the speed and the rhythm, so maybe it's fast, maybe it's slow. Again, using different planes. Where is that arc sitting? Okay, using the arms, 5 minutes exploring the shapes of the painting. And then at least one other body part. Maybe you want to use your head. And again, the head is just the initiator. The rest of your body follows what your head is doing. Okay? So, pause the video, take a moment, use my painting if you have nothing else at hand, or use another painting to inspire your movement. And let me know how it goes. And then I'll see you back for some other things we can do. Tracing of the shapes. We've used it to make those arcs, the curves, a few lines, the dots, the splatters. Play with it. Hopefully you've played with it. The next thing we're going to do are look at the colors of the painting, and we're going to respond with our body to these colors. So there are a variety of things you can do here. One, you can respond with how, in general, what is the essence of the colors of this painting communicating with you? I don't want to label it as anything, but just think of, maybe write down 3 words that come to mind from the mood of these colors, okay? I would then do a response with movement to those words or to those feelings, or just, if you want to just respond without even writing anything down, just like look at this painting and respond, that's perfect. That's an awesome way to go about the movement initiation, because then it's kind of removing that step of adding language. So it's literally, you're taking this color and responding to it. So what I would do, and it's fine too if you want to use the words, if it's a little bit easier for you to give yourself very clear directions about the mood, fine. So what you'll do is take the colors and respond first with your entire body. Secondly, you'll respond with just your hands. Third, I want you to think about what song you would pair, what kind of music would you pair with this particular painting. Put on that music, put on that song, and I don't know, maybe 5-10 minutes at the very least, do some exploration with that music. So you've got responding to the color and the mood of this, with your whole body, with just your hands, and then with your whole body again, or if you want to pick a specific body part, with a piece of music that you can put on repeat that you think pairs really well with this. Take another good look. All right, go explore the colors of this painting. And I'll show you my video after. We've already traced the painting's shapes with our hips, arms, and another body part. So that's around 15 minutes of exploration at a minimum. You can go, hey, you could do this all day if you wanted. That'd be great. Then we explored the colors and what kind of mood those colors evoked. And we explored with our whole body for 5 to 10 minutes. We explored with just our hands for 5 to 10 minutes. And then you paired a piece of music or just one song, put it on repeat for 5 to 10 minutes, and move. The music is inspired by the painting, what you pair with it, and move around, either choosing a body part that you want to focus on or initiating movement just freely from your whole body for 5 to 10 minutes. That's a pretty good start. That's like, if you're doing it to my recommended times, that's like a 30-minute movement session, which is fantastic. And hopefully after that, you're feeling very connected to your body, your mind and your emotions are activated, and that mind-body connection is feeling a little bit more solid. You could just go right if you wanted after that. I'm sure you'd have a lot of writing and thoughts and reflections. You could just go take a shower, have a cup of coffee, and start your day. If you did that in the morning, you could go and pair a glass of wine with this painting and you're good to go. So you should feel very, very proud of what you've done if you've done that. I do have one more suggestion that we can take using this painting as a sensory input. And I will again show you that when I do my own movement workshop and I share my results with you at the end. So we're going to deal with negative space in this exploration. So the negative space in art is really any of the space that isn't being activated, how would I describe it? It's the white space. So all this space is negative. All that in there, the white, the stuff that hasn't been painted is the negative space. And this can be very useful in creating new structures for choreography, for movement ideas, and again, as a tool for you to explore with your body. What I would advise is using this. You could also look at it upside down, this way. Find the negative space, and another activity I would suggest if you have the space is using it as a tool for a walking pattern. So think about, let's say we're using this white space in here. Think about what that would look like if you did a walking pattern in space. Maybe if you first try it with small steps, maybe you walk it backwards. Maybe they're very long strides, maybe they're asymmetrical strides. But I would play with any aspect of the negative space that you find interesting. That's just going one step further with how we can use this painting as our sensory input. And that exploration could take 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 20 minutes. It's what, if it feels inspiring for you, then just keep going with it. Keep riding that wave. And if it doesn't speak to you to use the negative space, you've done enough already. But I think it's a very interesting way of not only seeing this art piece or seeing a piece of art in general, is to look at the space that hasn't been activated and using that itself as something you can interpret and reflect on through your body. Okay, so that's it for our painting. I hope you enjoy it. I've been making a lot of these ink paintings during this lockdown. I just really like how simple the result, like not really simple, but it's kind of this strong aesthetic of simplicity through chaos. And there's a lot of moments of serendipity when I'm painting these. The ink has a mind of its own. It actually has a lot of movement that I can't control, but somehow I still try to control it. I generally, when I paint, always use my body. The ink painting, I can't use my whole body, but I actually paint by moving with the canvas, or in this case with the archival paper. And the patterns that come out are really, really special. So yeah, I hope not only was it useful to see my painting and use it as movement exploration, but also just to see it, another form of my expression. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the next section. Another device we can use when we're exploring movement. So this is a visual sensory input that we're using. We could also use auditory, literary, because I'm going to read this poem. So it's something in here, but also there's, there's meaning in the words themselves. So that's another way we can develop movement inspiration, is the actual meaning of the words, and then reinterpreting that meaning on our own body. So it's the process of finding new meaning. And the actual sounds of my voice, what are they relaying to you? What's the emotion it's invoking? Does it make you want to move slowly, quickly, gracefully, or sharply? There's a lot of ways you can interpret this poetry, and I hope you do that with your whole body. So this has no real restrictions. But you can also take the tools I've used in the visual art interpretation and use them for how you're developing movement. So maybe you listen to the poem once, you respond with your hips. You listen to the poem again, how does it make your arms move? Initiate movement with your arms. You can listen to the poem and then respond with your whole body, so that you can use those other tools that we used with the painting in how you respond to the poem. I think my puppy's gonna come over here and I'm gonna let her. Yeah! Hi, you want to join me? She wants to respond to the movement too. Yeah. Okay, come here. You can respond with me. Yes. You want to come up here? Okay. She's like, no, I want to play. She wants to move. Okay, so I'm gonna read an excerpt from one of my poems entitled Hidden. Okay? Yeah. She might want to go be independent. Okay. I'll be right down, okay, puppy? Yeah. So this excerpt is, like I said, from the poem Hidden. Don't mind her. She's really cute. I hope it gets me more views. And I want you to also be on the lookout. My poetry book is going to be published next year in 2021, and that's very exciting news. More to come on that. But for now, what I'm going to do is read you this poem, and I want you to, when it ends, pause the video and immediately respond to it through movement. Just an excerpt, not the whole poem. Some mornings, I paint the town in deep, divine reds. Nothing stands in my way. Everything touches my spirit in an ecstatic lushness, like a spoonful of honey, slowly slipping onto my tongue. I carry so much passion in the palm of my hand. It might explode into the hearts of everyone I encounter. This body is a battlefield. This love is a revolution. Eyes are not the only windows. that is an excerpt from the poem Hidden. Take the meaning of that poem, take the rhythm of that poem, take the sound of my voice, and go move for 10 minutes. So I hope you enjoyed the workshop today, which was entitled Inspiration. And I hope you enjoyed kind of dissecting my painting through your body. Hopefully that gave you a different way of not only seeing a piece of art, but interpreting that piece of art through your body, perceiving this piece of art through your physical self, and just reflecting in general on this painting through your physical self and your physicality. It's another way of experiencing the world and exploring your creativity. And you don't have to use just my paintings. You can, I would love it, please do. You can use any paintings that you have in your home. You can go online and find, oh, that's the puppy. You can find some different paintings you want to explore with your body. And I hope that was a really useful tool. Then we also explored how words and the rhythm of a voice can elicit a response from your body without any other prompt. So how did it feel to hear me read this excerpt from my poem? What did the language make you feel? Was there particular words that stood out and made your body react in a certain way? For instance, when you heard me say deep, divine reds, did you immediately have a feeling that you associated with that? Did you have a way that you wanted to interpret that phrase with your body? It's so important to think of, or explore, not think, not thinking. It's so important to create a new language for yourself through your body. It's important to express how you're perceiving, how you want to interpret, and therefore express the way that you experience other forms of art, other forms of expression, the world just generally around you, how you express your interpretation of other people. You can do that using your body and exploring this mind-body connection. I hope these are really useful for you. I hope they also inspire you to take, maybe there's a piece of music that you want to interpret through different body parts versus your whole body. I hope it maybe the next time you read a novel or you watch a TV show, go explore that with your body. Like, how did that podcast about serial killers make your body feel? There are so many different ways to tap into the physical self, and hopefully these two ways have illuminated that path for you. And hopefully you really liked seeing my puppy come listen to my poems also. And I hope she gets me more YouTube views because she's really cute. Anyway, the next part of the series, the video 5, I'm going to take time to guide you through a visual exercise, a visualization exercise with guided imagery to access even deeper how the breath in the body and how kind of tuning out the sensory inputs and outputs around you can help you get into your body more deeply also. So stay tuned for that and go have fun exploring how different pieces of expression can also inspire you to express from your body. Thanks, everyone. I'll see you soon.